Hey guys, it's Otti again. I'm sitting here in an online call with band MIDAS FALL. Hi, first of all.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. MIDAS FALL, you're a band from Scotland. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But maybe first of all, because people who get in probably don't know who you especially are, you can introduce yourselves and say what's your part in the band.
Okay, I'll go first. I'm Liz. I'm the lead singer, and I play guitar as well. When we record, we all kind of play. We're kind of multi-instrumentalists, but live vocals and guitar.
Yeah, I'm Rowan. I play guitar mostly on stage. We got drums now and again, and that'll do.
Yeah. My name's Michael. I play bass in the band and also some drums sometimes as well.
Great. And I always think it's better if the bands explain themselves how the music sounds, what it's like. Maybe you can say, if someone never heard of you, like I did till yesterday, how would you describe your music? What's it kind? Like?
Miserable prog for goths. I think that's the best way.
Yeah, with sparkly post-rock guitars.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're more noisy than sparkly these days, I think.
There's the sparkle at the start and then noise at the end. A lot of our songs kind of reach a crescendo, so they often start maybe quite sort of soft and melodic and then end as a wall of noise. So we kind of follow that.
Yeah, they start sad and either get sadder or end angry. That tends to be the way of it.
They are our emotions, sad and angry.
Yes. Sad and more sad, or sad and angry.
It's like there's always lots of different sections, which I think maybe helped, or is part of what contributes to us ending up in like kind of a prog bracket. But songs are never really like 15 minutes long, so it's like fast track prog.
Yeah.
We don't really follow a verse chorus structure. We often have like songs go on a bit of a journey, but they do generally end pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are some sound words, for example, like in shoegaze, I discovered.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
this. Really.
Yeah. It's kind of noisy like shoegaze, like definitely. But
angry shoegaze, fast track prog. That's
fast track prog. I love that. That's great.
That's great. Yes. Cool. Sounds like a good description, yes. And as I told you before, I didn't know about you till yesterday. You have been recommended to me. And maybe people outside who watch now will be the same, so we can do a little bit of the whole story. So maybe you can, first of all, tell how the story of your band began. How did you meet each other? What have been the starting points?
Long time ago.
Well, we've known each other for like, what, fucking 21 years?
Yeah, I mean, me and Rowan met at about 3 a.m. in a park in Edinburgh, where she had got into a fight with somebody, and I came in and got involved and broke it up. And from there
was a lot more to it than that. Just to give a bit of fucking context, right? I'd been out in a nightclub and I'd hit my head. So me and my pals nuts. We don't a bottle of vodka and
we don't need to go that far.
Hit my head. I was concussed. I had to go to the hospital the next day. But Liz did get me back to my flat safely. So she kind of, made sure I didn't end up in a cell or in a hospital till the next day. Yeah. So that was how we met. But I didn't remember you.
No, and then a couple of years later, I saw you again in the toilet of a nightclub in Edinburgh, and I was like, I remember you. You are that girl from the park. Anyway, long story short, we ended up
doing a band,
making this band together, and then fast forward about 6-7 years, maybe, and we.
No, it wasn't as much as that. Oh no, it must have been.
No, I'm just saying to when we met Michael.
All right, no, it's been longer than that. 6 or 7 years,
whatever. Doesn't matter.
Your concept of time fucked.
We met Michael because
10 years
through a mutual friend who was playing drums for us at the time, and he was kind of just at that point we didn't have a bass player for the recordings, but we were playing at Tangent Festival down in England, and so we brought Michael on board to play that show, and we just got on so well. We just decided to sort of become a threesome for the album.
Sick. But it's been great. It's been lovely to have you as a permanent member, Michael. It's now coming up for 5 years.
Yeah.
So
5 years.
Yeah, 5 fucking years, which is half of the length of time that we've been together from when Michael joined us. Because it's been like 11 years, I think, from when we started writing.
I mean, some of those years were COVID years, though, so it's a bit fuzzy. You know, they weren't normal years. So
yeah, I think surviving those fucking years, you know, as a band.
Yeah.
You know,
Aye, that's true. That's true.
That's been a fucking accomplishment.
Aye, absolutely.
But yeah, that's a history, not very brief.
Yes, and I see. I think it's a lot of fun that you had in the past, and it sounds, compared to your music that's dark and rock and goth and sad, you are rather happy people. Looks like this.
I think that's I mean, that's how, well, personally, how I function day to day, and I'm remain quite an upbeat person, is that all that sort of sadness or, you know, part of me just kind of goes into the music, gets kind of wrapped up in musical form, and then I can be a functional person day to day.
Yeah, I think it's the same with, like, you know, death metal bands, or like, you know, metal bands that play really angry, aggressive music. They tend to be quite chill people at the end of the day.
That's true. Yeah, you find that a lot about sort of metalheads.
Well, not if you're Mayhem, but you know.
Well, not if you're Mayhem, but you know, for like normal death metal bands, who are like,
yeah, I think not only death metal, it's all kinds of metal or hard music. The people are focusing their angriness and their anger, and then it's cool to be in the normal day life.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's why there's so much emotion in the music, because it goes from in you and get all the bad stuff out into your music, and then you can just go along with the good stuff until more bad stuff happens. Then you write another song, and before you know it, you've got an album.
I think
I personally tend to like only want to write when I'm feeling particularly down. That's like my inspiration, where I'm coming from in terms of writing. So yeah, the music generally tends to come from a certain emotion that I don't know, appears recurrently throughout the MIDAS FALL songs.
Yeah.
So probably, Liz, you are doing the lyrics as well? Like that? Or do you all? Right.
I mean, we all sort of get involved in the writing of the music, but I write the lyrics,
Okay. And those are all about your emotions or about the stuff you discover? Or are there special things you like to write about?
I mean, I generally write from a personal standpoint. I think when the band first started, I wrote a lot more about things in the past. But as life has gone on, you know, you sort of new experiences that you sort of you know, tend to focus on and then become part of the lyrics. But yeah, I think like we don't really write from like a look in society or politics. We very much write from a personal perspective.
And we can't do the whole story of your band, but maybe we can at least tell 2 or 3 turning points besides Michael coming fully into the band. Important moments that you discovered in your career so far.
Question, sorry. Turning points in the career, important
points, apart from me joining, which was the most important. But
I think when the last album came out, that was, I mean, because we wrote that very much, it was like a bedroom. I mean, all our albums have been kind of bedroom recordings, but that one was, I don't know, there was something.
The first one was just me and you that had done it.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't have any outside influence in that at all.
No, it was more kind of stripped back, a bit more minimal compared to the previous albums where we'd had like a drummer and bassist in the band. And I think the reception that got was really positive, and I think surprised us a little bit, especially getting invited to play Meltdown Festival. Sorry, my partner's come home and the dogs are picking up.
It's totally okay.
Yeah, so we got invited to play Meltdown Festival and discovered that Robert Smith from The Cure was a fan of our music, which was
Oh,
a big moment for us.
That was pretty cool. Yeah.
That was
Yes.
And actually, I had a fucking fangirl moment when I went to see Emma Ruth Rundle in Glasgow in 2022, and said hello after the gig. And a friend of mine who was there with me was absolutely fucking steaming and was like, "Oh, she's in the band." I was like, "Don't do that. It's embarrassing." It's like, I want to fucking swallow my own heat now. And anyway, so she said that, and then Emma Rundle was like, "Oh yeah, I know your band. Robert Smith sent me the CD," and I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna die now."
There's so much name dropping right now.
Aye, but that's all the names. There aren't any more. That's it. That's the fucking end.
I mean, if you're gonna have any names, though,
eh?
Yeah,
if you're gonna have any names, those are the names you want, you know.
There's always lots of kind of, highlights here and there. Just, I guess it depends on how you view that, really. I mean, like, I suppose the first big significant moment was when we put the first fucking album out, and we did a tour in 2010 in support of that. And I remember went into HIB in London, and the CD was there, and that was like, "Oh, look at this!" Like,
Actually, yeah. Looking back, that's the first time we toured in Europe back. I think it was like 2011, because we'd spent years and had grown up playing in British venues, and there's a very much different, I don't know, response when you go to a gig in a British venue than you do in a lot of countries in Europe. They're just
more up for it, aren't they?
Just bigger audiences, more welcoming. I think we showed up in Budapest, and we'd never played outside.
First gig in Budapest
before,
ever.
and the place was absolutely heaving.
Yeah.
And we were like, how did these people know about
like,
us?
what the fuck is this? It was so nice. That was a significant turning point. That really was.
Yeah.
We realised that actually there's an audience, and it's not our home.
Yeah, it's not the UK.
Like, fuck that. We're not doing that anymore. We're going over there. It's much more fun. And that was really good. I mean, I guess since then, like, we've toured as much as we can, and just continuing to make music because it's what we enjoy doing. And I feel like it's kind of necessary as well. If it's in you, then it's something you're doing. But first album, the last one, and this one. There've been quite a few turning points with all of these records.
And we'll talk about touring later on because we're coming to Germany.
Yeah.
Yes. Can't wait.
What did you want to tell, Michael?
Oh, I can't wait. I love Germany. We love Germany. So looking forward to it.
We love your beer.
Yeah.
I like as well.
Yeah.
Doing a string of five dates in April, 2 festivals and 3 headline shows over in Germany. So we're really looking forward to that.
Yeah, can't wait.
People, please come.
Yes.
So maybe let's talk about this first. Besides the beer, what do you like as well about Germany? What is cool here? What is not so cool compared to Scotland or Britain?
I do like the German efficiency. It's like you go to a gig in Germany and the sound check, the stage time, it's all as was previously discussed. You show up to a gig in Greece and it's like, you play.
But I kind of like that. I really
midnight, there's no plan.
I think what I really like about it is that you can go out in any German city, and people are allowed to sit outside at 3 a.m. with a glass of beer and enjoy it, and don't want to cannibalize one another. Whereas it's really just not like that here. You're not allowed a glass.
Yeah,
plastic.
Britain has a culture of horrible drinkers at the weekend, which you don't see when you go to Germany. Everyone's a bit more civilized, and we like that.
Yeah, it's nice and peaceful. It's pretty, and I really enjoy driving in Germany, particularly.
Yes, that was going to be my answer.
Driving
in.
Yeah.
Why the driving?
Because it's fucking Autobahn, you dafty. Best fucking road ever. The only it was really fucking good to drive on. I like that.
Well, you'll get to experience it again.
It's after the frustration of driving in countries where there's not so great motorways. and then you get back, like you're back to Germany, you're like, yeah, thank God for that.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, but the people are always so lovely. I remember we were doing a gig in what's it, that place that's outside fucking Frankfurt, what was it called again? Offenbach. Yeah, and was it there? They'd made this like cakes and stuff.
Oh no, that was in Ziegen.
Oh, it was Ziegen.
Vegan, yes.
She did the German at school.
I did French, sorry.
French shite as well. But yeah, that was really nice. They were lovely. They made us these wee cakes and everything, and they were just so welcoming and so kind. And that's a big part of it. You know, they're really engaged, and it's just lovely to meet people. It's great, brilliant.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much Rowan's answer. Is pretty much what I would say. Like the people and the driving is like I think that's probably the best thing about it for me.
I think in Scotland you have rather small streets, for example, not like the Autobahn.
Especially where I live, it's all like little windy roads and single track roads.
Yeah, potholes, shit like that.
A lot of potholes.
We have got one motorway.
Yeah, in the
25 miles long or something. It's not very big, is it?
Yeah, it's just there's always just something's wrong with the road. Something's gonna delay you. Something like there's just always fucking something like, and that's just frustrating when you're trying a tour's, you know, like like one little thing like that could totally like derail a tour, you know. So it's like it's just things like that. One pothole can mean that you have to cancel a show. Like, you know, so it's things like that. It's just that's why I mean we're joking, but the efficiency of like you know driving in Europe and it's German especially, it's just knowing that we can make a plan, do it, and as long as we don't fuck up, then it'll happen, which is nice, you know.
Do you know what we mean when we say pothole?
Pothole,
Is
no.
that a word in Germany?
Pothole.
It's like a hole in the road.
Ah, yes. It's
you
like
go over it and you get the flat tire.
Yeah.
You say Schlagloch is the German word. Schlagloch. Schlag is like to hit, and Loch is hole.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
When you drive over it, you get a schlag, you get a hit, so it's a Schlagloch. Oh.
Yeah.
So 17,000 of them in our just the tiny part of Scotland that we live in. 17,000 in 5 years. That's 10 a day. Every day.
They don't even know the meaning of the word pothole. That's how efficient it is.
But anyway, so I mean that's a digression. But looking forward to getting back to Germany. That'll be really good.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it. I probably won't be on a show this time because it's all too far for me. But maybe next time when you come over.
Whereabouts are you based?
I'm in Duisburg, in Ruhr area.
Which area?
Ruhr area, the Ruhrgebiet.
All right.
Near
Duisburg, Essen, Dortmund.
Essen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we were in Dortmund, weren't we?
Yes, I know that Essen. We've been there. Sure.
Is Essen not the German word for food?
Yeah, it's a German word for food and the city's name, and it's a rather big city. So people always make jokes about Essen like being food.
Has it got the best food in Germany? Is that why? Yeah, is it? Maybe. Yeah.
Yourself.
Yeah, must be. Anyway, I think it was a few years ago.
Okay, but let's come back to the music. It's cool to talk about everything, but we have to talk about your music and music in general. And as we have live show stuff at the moment as a topic, maybe a last question was this: what makes a concert night perfect to you?
Being able to hear myself on stage.
Good sound in the venue. That is, I feel, the most important part because we go to so many gigs, and because we don't travel with our own sound engineer, we're kind of at the mercy of the venue. And if there's a complication and we can't hear ourselves on stage, then I think it kind of sets you up for a bad show.
Well, not for a bad show. It just makes it more difficult to
but you can't
be able to give the kind of show.
You can't relax and enjoy it in the same way. That if you know everything's clear and the mood is right and you go on stage with the correct energy.
Yeah, it's that can sometimes be, you know, pretty frustrating, because again, people, you know, they come to see you, sometimes they travel really far, and to not know, or to know that you're not necessarily going to be able to give the best performance that you can because you know, some technical fuck up. That's the hardest thing about, I think, doing live shows. More than anything, especially, you know, like being knackered or whatever after a long drive, none of that's as difficult as not being able to do your best on stage.
Yeah, especially because, I mean, we've got quite a complex setup live, because we've got the 2 guitars, the bass, the drums, but we also have a lot of sort of synth and electronics running at the same time. So we do have quite a complicated setup, and we run it all through click tracks and backing tracks.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But Michael's going to simplify that, because he's a tech boffin, so he's going to fix it.
Yeah, but that's why, you know, that's why I want to do it, because it's like Rowan and Liz said, it's just it's the difference between it's a difference between a good and a bad show sometimes, as far as your sort of energy and demeanor on stage goes. You know, and yeah, like Rowan was saying, there's like, and touring is hard enough, even when it goes well, you know, it's demanding enough without something like that happening. So to try and take a bit more control over it and have things set up in a way that we know is going to work and we know is going to be consistent, it puts us the right foot forward, so to speak. So but yeah, I think that's crucial to like a perfect show, I guess, or one thing we look at. But in terms of what we like about shows, I mean, I really like just interacting with people after, when people tell me how great we were. But
give me the compliment.
yes. No, it's just
tell me they've been frightened by the gig. That was fun.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah.
Whoa, you know.
Well, I think the people that usually come and see us live as well are quite respectful when they play. They stay quiet, and there's not like loud talking for the shows, which is always really nice, because
respectful. Yeah,
they are. Our fans are very respectful, especially because a lot of our songs start quite sort of slow, ebb and flow. So
Dynamics.
and I think they appreciate that. So yeah, I've noticed that, especially in Germany, that this kind of
like they're just a lot more engaged. Which is great. Very nice.
Yeah.
But did you also have some bad experiences about this? People talking totally loud or shouting or doing something to annoy you?
I mean, we've all had shows like that before.
There's one in particular that stands out to me.
Which is what?
Oh, it was a long time ago. It was at Classic Grand. Do you remember that?
Fucking Glasgow. Yeah, classic.
It was in fucking Glasgow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's something like, you know, maybe when we were younger and we played, you know, where you just kind of play any gig and it doesn't matter where you're playing or who you're playing to. Whereas the people that actually specifically come and see us are usually
so I guess early on in your career, when you're doing gigs without any real kind of discretion about quality, that's when you're likely to get the shit ones with fucking
Well, it'll be because there'll be like a fucking thrash metal band on after you or whatever, because that's what those gigs are like.
The promoter will just pick like 5 bands, and there'll be like an indie band, a metal band, a folk band. There's no thought into the shows. We've on those in our years as musicians.
And it's like, if each of these bands brings like 10 mates each, then I'll make a 50 quid. You know, like that shit couldn't be far enough away in the past. Really couldn't be. Yeah, that's shite.
Yes, and I think it's, for example, in England. I haven't been to Scotland till now. I want to totally, but I've been in England, and we have been at pub shows, for example, and it was like sitting in a pub, eating and drinking, and the band was playing besides the eating people, besides us eating. So it's a little bit difficult, I think, to play such a show when you have music like yours.
Sorry, I thought you said initially. I thought you said a puppet show like Punch and Judy.
No, a pub show,
Yeah.
like
Aye.
pub, yes.
So like there's you get a lot of pub bands here, and they tend to do like, I don't know, like, well, in Scotland anyway, like a lot of kind of Ceilidh music and shit like that. And you know,
there's a lot of
if you go to the Central Belt, you get some other music than fucking folk music or Scottish.
Yeah, I mean, we are currently based in like a rural part of Scotland, and there's a lot of the traditional Celtic music here in the pubs. You have to go to the cities to hear the modern music.
Yeah, if you're going you must have an accordion. No accordion entry. The pub shows they're background music, really. Generally, that's and the live shows are you know, dedicated music fans usually.
Yes.
So, okay, and now let's come to the current stuff, because one reason we are talking is I want to discover you and to know about you, but the other reason is your new album is coming, your 5th album.
Yes.
And the moment we record this, it's about a week. I think I will publish the video right around the album release, so there's more impact.
Yeah.
And but first question, it's your 5th album, as I mentioned. Are you still excited when something like this is coming? Is it still like, oh, another album, or is it like, next week?
Like Christmas. You're like, here's Christmas. And then next album, you're like, this is exciting. But I really want to get on a fucking support tour with a decent fucking big band. And properly. Just once, you know, that would be amazing. Every time, that's for me anyway, what I really hope we get out of it. But also, you know, it's a nice big personal achievement on one level. So there is an excitement to it, but I think, I don't know, I suppose with the music there's a kind of maturity that comes with it as well. So it's not like Christmas every time. Not for me anyway.
I think I mean, prior to this album we were releasing stuff maybe every couple of years, whereas this album's been a while, so I feel like there's a bit of an extra kind of excitement, especially because this album's quite different from the last album, so I think we're keen to hear and see how people respond to it. Like I say, the last album was a bit more almost like Scandinavian noir, kind of electronic, whereas this album is a bit more metal, a bit heavier, a bit bigger.
Yeah, because we now have majority rule for metal fans in the band now. So
you were at points overruled, but then unfortunately, because you do the mixes, you get final say over whether or not we get a bit of dull bass pedal in that song.
But I think I embraced it this album.
Yeah, I think it was a nice compromise, you know, between I don't know, I feel like I mean, I for one certainly got to say and do everything I wanted to with the album. And I guess it's a bit different for me because this is actually my first album with the band, so it is a lot more exciting to me than it's album number 1 for me, whereas it's album number 5 for Liz and Rowan. So it's a bit different for me. I'm very, very excited. I think for me, it's like some of the best music that I've ever produced for my part. So like, I'm definitely excited by that. Especially, I do a lot of music by myself. Like I do a lot of composing and producing for like soundtracks and stuff like that. And it's nice to do music when you have like full creative control because you get to do all the, you know, outlandish ideas that maybe wouldn't fly in a band setting because you've got other people's tastes and other people's personalities to accommodate for. But that's good. But the good thing about being in a band, and especially being in a band like MIDAS FALL with people that you get along with so well and are so good at what they do, and there's so much kind of mutual respect between everybody that this MIDAS FALL album, even though I do music myself, I could never have made this album by myself. And I think that's what's really exciting about me.
So it's a special dynamic now, you would say, between you.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's a good dynamic because I think like we all kind of pull from different musical influences, but we all have a sort of crossover taste enough that we kind of all understand and complement each other. So it's not like, you know, Michael or Rowan ever writes a part for a song and I'm like, oh, no, that's not right.
Wow.
But no, I feel like there's not been really much of that at all on this album, because I think we all kind of understand where the song's going, where we're coming from, and we kind of see the songs as a big picture. We're not just like forcing our instruments in the, you know, like, this is my bass line, I have made it the most complicated it could be.
Yeah, there's not really any, like, you know, showboating fucking wank on it, which, you know, it wouldn't be appropriate for this kind of stuff, you know. And I think we've all got a good enough working relationship that we can be honest with each other. If something doesn't fit, you know, you can turn around and say, I like that, but not in this, you know, or I don't think it really fits or whatever. Or, you know, even if something's not working for a particular track or in a particular part of a track or whatever, you know, it's not to say that that's a write-off. There's a good enough working relationship, and I think we're all old enough and ugly enough to be able to, you know, not take every fucking bit of criticism negatively. So, and that's hugely valuable. It really is.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we didn't mention the title so far. So I will do it as Cold Waves Dividers. Just for the people outside, if they want to listen by, would be perfect, we should mention it. And the one before was, I can read, I've written down everything here, The Mandatory Inside.
No,
So,
it was Evaporate.
No, Evaporate was in between. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I wrote down wrong. Good that you're here. But as mentioned, Liz, there's a difference between, was this something you wanted to do, something new, or was it like a natural progress?
I don't think we approached this album wanting it to sound differently. I think that the music and the songs have always just evolved into what they have become. So I think we approached this album, you know, we write a demo, we'll send it amongst ourselves, to add parts and to work on the track, and then it's kind of developed into this heavier entity. And I don't know,
there's no intention
if some of that has come from the fact that Michael's in the band and he's got a 5-string bass and using some low baritone guitars, and I've been experimenting a lot more with the production side of things. So I think we've been able to just create a different sounding album this time round, but it was never intentional.
Yeah, like for my part as well, it was always, like in the process that Liz mentioned about sending demos to each other. And, you know, when something came my way, like regardless of whether it was Liz or Rowan that kind of started the idea in the first place, it was, I don't know, like I never did, like the other two were saying, I never decided that like I'm gonna turn this into a metal band whether they like it or not. But like it was even that was just where the songs were leading, whether it was the kind of metal adjacent fan Rowan, or whether it was like Liz, who like that isn't really what the kind of music she does. Like they both were headed in that direction. And when I was doing my parts, whether it's bass or the drums or synths or whatever, like it was just, that's where the music kind of drew me to. And I kind of, I don't really know. Like in front, there you go.
I say it's funny because when I sent the first lot of demos for this album to Kim, who runs Monotone Records, she was like, yeah, they're really good, but it's quite a lot lighter than all your other work you've done in the past. So, you know, we'll have to sort of look at marketing that. And then when we sent the final version, she was like, what?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
It's so funny how just like how a song begins and how it ends and the sort of journey it goes on, and the layers and the heaviness that sort of kind of got injected into it during the writing process.
And when it comes out, as I know you're coming to Germany, but I haven't looked up other shows or something. Do you celebrate it somehow? Have you any plans for next week? Making like cheers and party? Or do you have a release show?
In retrospect, we should have had like a release show.
I think, well, if we're going down in we're doing a video thing on Saturday, so Sunday, so we're really, doing something on Saturday night.
We'll have a toast, but we're not doing like an official release show or anything like that. I think the next lot of shows we're sort of doing to promote the album or when we're coming to Germany.
Yeah, I think that was like, it was like Liz and Rowan were saying, it's kind of, if we were to do a release show, it would probably be a local show, and local to us would be Glasgow or Edinburgh, but there's just like, I don't know, there's just not really much of a scene for this kind of stuff here in our experience, I think. So I don't know, it just seems like, whereas whenever we go to Germany, like, it's these like sold out festivals with these like really amazing attentive audiences and these successful tours and stuff like that. So it's like, like, I don't know, it just didn't really feel necessary. Like, the album comes out next week, but I think the real celebration is this Germany tour, even though it's like a little bit after the fact. Yeah, that's where we look forward to most. So it kind of made sense that we should do something that we enjoy for it, or something that we value as a band, which is these kind of shows in Germany and that sort of area of the world. So yeah, I think that's why. But yeah, we're seeing each other on Sunday and Saturday night as well. So yeah, have a little light beer or two.
Or maybe champagne.
Yeah, champagne. Yeah,
Yes.
get some Schlur.
Champagne.
I've got that bottle of whiskey that we got in Switzerland.
Maybe we'll have Prosecco, the poor person's champagne.
Yes.
This is interesting to me. As you mentioned, there's no scene around, so maybe we get back to the roots once more. So how did you all come into black or dark or metal scene when there's nobody or not many people around? How did this happen?
I mean, it's just, for me, the direction this band has gone in has come directly from the kind of music that I like to listen to. I mean, and there is certain festivals and scenes within the UK. It's just not a sort of day-to-day common genre that you come across a lot in the cities at sort of, local gig nights. But yeah, there's definitely a scene, isn't there? Like Art Tangent, Portals Festival. You've got like Dunk Festival in Belgium. So yeah, there is that scene there. It's just a bit more off the mainstream.
But even then, like, those festivals, even though they are in the UK, if you look at the lineups, like, the bands are from all over the place. There isn't really many. Well, I've got a poster for Explosion. I've got a poster of Art Tangent here, and even just looking at it, I can see two British bands of the big names, and the rest are like from all over the world, which is really, really cool. But that's why those festivals tend to be so good, because it's like, I don't know, they're based in the UK, but they're not based off of UK scene, I guess, which is the way to look at it.
Yeah, and I think depending on the country, we're seen in different ways, like the country that we're in. So, for example, in the UK, we're kind of considered like a post-rock or prog band, whereas when we play in Germany and Switzerland, we're kind of considered more like a goth band.
Which is kind of...
And then like in Greece, they've kind of got more the sort of shoegaze, stoner, sort
psychedelic stuff.
Psychedelic. Yeah. So it kind of differs depending on the country.
Yeah.
What kind of genre or scene we fall into.
That's interesting, because I never thought about it this way, but sure, if you're not totally into one genre, it really depends on how people are socialized with music, I think.
Yeah.
Or you or in general with music.
Yeah, I think like, Liz is definitely right about where considered like more of a post-rock band as far as like, the UK audience is concerned. But I think post-rock, especially compared to other genres, like the other ones that she mentioned, like the kind of shoegaze stuff or the kind of like goth post-punk stuff. Post-rock there's a lot more gatekeeping in post-rock than
like vocals. So
exactly.
Automatically, we're kind of not really fully in the gang
Yeah.
Because they're like,
Yeah.
oh, there's a vocalist there. No,
Yeah.
get her away.
Yes.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
progress.
Exactly.
Like, no.
There are ladies in the band and there's a lady singer, so we lose the neckbeards instantly, you know, which is like, you know, which is fine.
According to the world, no, you're not meeting the criteria. You're not coming in. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So I think it just comes back to our preferences for those audiences. If we're going to be lumped with like a genre, I would much rather be aligned with the post-punk stuff and the shoegaze stuff and the psychedelic stuff than the post-rock stuff, because it just seems a bit more closed off. But you know, if Mogwai wanted us to support them, then obviously I would do it. But you know, it's like yeah.
Disclaimer there. Yeah. We love post rock if there's support slots or not.
I know. Well,
it does make it more challenging when you don't fit neatly into a box.
No.
And if you know, in your country where you're based, from I suppose a music cultural point of view, when you fit into something that is, you know, relatively niche, that can be really fucking difficult. It has been challenging in that regard.
I mean, that's always kind of been the issue with us, is that we don't fit neatly into one genre. So in terms of from a marketing perspective, it's like, I don't know who to advertise this band to, I don't know who the audience is, because, you know, we kind of cross over onto lots of different genres.
Which is frustrating, because it's like, oh, I don't know how to fucking market this. I don't know how to pigeonhole this. Like, well, fucking think harder. Have a go. Think creatively, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
you know,
like,
you know, that's
we're not. Yeah, we're not the first band to put the distortion after the reverb. You know, like it's it's not like but I share Rowan's frustration, to be honest. Like, so yeah, that's why.
It's just difficult, and I feel like it's needlessly difficult like that. And I think the UK particularly could be quite at times, not necessarily across all genres either, but quite averse to change. Or to kind of welcoming in new genres, despite the fact that, you know, historically, you know, kind of trailblazing when it comes to music. But recently, I do feel that it's been a bit fucking staid, you know.
I agree.
That's my personal opinion. Don't speak for the whole band, necessarily, but it's tricky.
No, I agree. I think like there's definitely, as some, you know, whenever I don't really go to many festivals anymore, purely because it did just feel a bit homogenized, with the exception of the sort of like, you know, Portals and Arctangent and like kind of the more fringe stuff, if you like. But looking at fucking Download, for example, like all the bands are either dinosaurs or sound the same. It's, you know, for the most part. So it's like, I don't know, and I think that's part of the reason why it's a very rigid model that you either have to completely subscribe to or you're just not getting in. And that model will change with time, but it's still the same model. You know, it's still the same. You're either in or you're out. You know, and we just don't really want to do that. You know,
because then that would be deliberate. That would involve having to go down a deliberate kind of creative path, which I don't think would actually be creative in itself, because you would be restricting yourself, you know, deliberately to fit in a fucking box.
That's it. I think the music we wrote has always just been true to ourselves and what we want to make in that moment, regardless of what genre it is.
But it's always good like this, because we are unique in your sound, I would say. You can compare it to sometimes to this or to that, but you're not a copy of other bands, as many are.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, Frank.
It has good sides and bad sides. It's hard to do marketing for this, but it's good as you are, and you are not like, even don't know, Björk or something like this.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're quite proud of that, though, aren't we? That we just we do what we want to do.
Yeah. It's like other bands, you might as well just do a fucking wedding band. It's better money.
I mean, like, I think it's just the difference between short-term gratification of like being the flavor of the month, which is going to change after a month, or being the kind of band that can put out 5 albums and several EPs and still keep going, you know. So I would take if that rejection is the price for longevity, I would, you know, I think that's the sensible choice to make.
I think we have done lots of talking, and this interview is rather cool and it's rather long, but we should come to an end because people outside will not listen to us more than an hour. We sure can do another one some month or a year ago in the future. But for this
please.
now, we do just 1 or 2 last questions. The first is just totally normal, but what else are the plans for the rest of the year besides the new album and the Germany tour? Do you have plans for the band so far? After
we're
the
just
tour?
looking into getting more shows. I mean,
Yeah.
we've got a confirmed festival portals in London in May for anyone who wants to come visit London. Other than that, we're just looking into getting more shows and festivals booked.
Yeah. It's really. Oh, whoa.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just kind of seeing, you know, I feel like we've gotten as much as we can before the album comes out. So hopefully when there's a bit more of a public reception to go on, maybe some more opportunities will present themselves for, you know, gigs or, you know, tours or support slots or festivals or whatever. So yeah, I think it's just keep trying to kind of play as many shows as we can and play worthwhile shows, I guess. You know, there's no point in us playing these shows that are just a waste of time. So
yeah, I mean,
don't sugarcoat it, Michael.
Well, it's true. It's like, what's the point in doing a show that's shite?
Well, it's like, I mean, we could play a gig tomorrow in Glasgow with 3 bands that no one shows up to, you know. So it's like, it's just making sure that it's worth our time, you know, like, and it's going to be good for everybody there. The people there are going to enjoy it, and you know, it's like it'll be good for us as well. So I think that's all it is. It's just kind of see what happens when the album comes out, I guess, and then saying that, I mean, like, sorry to go around.
No, I really hope that we do get, you know, the opportunity to do a lot more live shows off the back of this album, because for me personally, it's the thing that I enjoy doing the most. I mean, the writing process and you know, that's good, but it's a wholly different thing from the live aspect of it. And I mean, the recording part of it, I mean,
I like that part. That part is fun for me. I like the writing and recording.
It can be if it's writing and recording together, like at the same time.
But
when it's just recording, it's just like,
the live is good. The in between sort of organizing things and artwork stuff. I mean, that's where we wish we had a manager to sort of deal with all that stuff for us.
But the live, I really hope that we get a lot more live shows out of this, because I really enjoy doing live shows, and I think when we play live, it always seems to be really well received, and it would be really nice to be able to just do that a lot more. So if anybody is watching this that's doing a tour, I can fucking go with you.
Aye, exactly.
You know, get in here for a bit as well.
Yes, and maybe you have some message to the world outside? Something deep?
Something deep.
I'm on tour with you. We're
anyone.
We're totally up. No, that would be message to the world.
Yeah. Fucking bookers, please.
Slut tour with Chelsea World. Take us on tour with you.
That'd be nice. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, you know, maybe I'm going to do it from a geopolitical point of view. Stop fucking taunting each other so we don't implode and blow up, so we can actually have a planet to fucking drive on to tour on. That would be nice. Stop doing that. Leave it at that. Don't really get involved.
Yeah. I mean, we just hope people enjoy the new album as well. You know, like.
Sensible answer,
Yeah,
Michael.
so that's much more sensible.
Sensible answer.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, not blowing each other up. That would be good too. Yes, but
Would be nice. Yes, totally. And very last question now.
Sure.
And this is important to me. So if you ever meet Robert Smith, can you tell him how cool it is to talk to me?
Of course.
Oh,
Absolutely.
okay.
Yeah.
We'll do some name dropping
Right.
for you.
Exactly.
That's really great.
You say you might be cool. You might be cool, Robert, but you're not as cool as Frank Van Duren. There's there you go.
So okay, this was really nice, really fun. Thank you for today or for tonight.
Thank you,
it's
Frank.
Evening. Thanks people outside for watching. Check out the MIDAS FALL or the MIDAS FALL. And see ya. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.